Serbia, Chile, Syria. Okay, that's just part of the list. I could go on forever. Now let me stop here because some people would fire back and say, yeah, some of those were humanitarian. Look, I'll grant that to you, that some things that the U.S. has done militarily, you can make a good case that, hey, that actually was for the better. It was a humanitarian intervention. But the reality is that most of those cases had nothing to do with a humanitarian mission. That was the cover story, and we really cared about natural resources in a given area or having vital control of an important geopolitical region. So Bosnia, Kosovo, yeah, maybe you can make a case that made sense. Even recently with Iraq, when we saved the Yazidis on the mountaintop when ISIS was going after them, you could argue that was perfectly humanitarian and it was a good idea. But just because a handful of the interventions might have been good, doesn't mean that all of them were, because there are so many, and we know the history of them, and most of them were not. So here are just some of the dictators that we supported or installed. Diaz, Gomez, Cabrera, Batista, Duvalier, Pinochet, Marcos, Suharto, Museveni, Zenawi, Mobutu, and again, the list goes on and on. Did you know in Vietnam alone, there were 800,000 to 3 million civilian deaths? In Iraq alone, it was a minimum of 200,000 civilian deaths. So on those two wars alone, we kicked the ass of a ragtag group like ISIS. Are you kidding me? And then also they mocked the idea that the U.S. created ISIS, but we did create ISIS. It wasn't on purpose, but we did. So for example, when we went to Iraq and we de-Baathified the government, well, those Sunnis got very angry, and then a lot of them later on teamed up with ISIS because they were so shunted out of the political system in the process, and when the Shiites took over, that you further radicalized the region. Look, everybody knows that if the Sunni Baathists had stayed in power in Iraq, and Saddam Hussein stayed in power in Iraq, ISIS never would have rose to power, ever, ever, ever.